Thanks, Larry. Hope all you guys have a great night down there for the Pepsi 400. You excited?
This is good racing right here. A lot of fun. It's under the lights, and this is the Pepsi 400.
It's the Pepsi 400. Let me tell you something. It's Daytona, and that's what you got to look at. And I don't mean to discount these guys that are at the back of the pack. Boris said, had to qualify last time, set on a pole, and went all the way to the front all day long. So these guys can't come from the back to the front.
Elliott Sadler apparently has a problem, no first or second gear. Only the third time in the modern era NASCAR has raced on July 7th. The other two races were both won by an Earnhardt, junior and senior, were wide open in green. That's half a lap. About a lap from now, they'll be up to full speed. You saw Elliott Sadler dropping to the back. Jeff Gordon trying to pull away at the front. Now they're 2 by 2. Wow, 5 bonus points for leading that lap. Jeff Gordon got him. Update from Marty Snyder.
Bill, real quick, Elliott Sadler said before the start, as you mentioned, no first or second gear, said he just wanted to get out of the way. He didn't want to get run over.
And I think the reason why he didn't drop to the back, Kyle, is because if he would have dropped to the pack would have left him. He at least got rolling enough to where he's at least hung on to the back of the pack right now.
Yeah, and that's a great observation, because if he had dropped to the back, like you said, he started, what, 15th, 18th, 19th, wherever he's at in points, and he dropped back to almost 42nd or 43rd, but he was able to keep a car behind him that kept him pushed up in the pack. What's going to be interesting is if we follow that story for the rest of the night to see what his pit road is, because everything about pit road is second gear at a certain RPM, and if he doesn't have second gear, what's the RPM going to be in third, or how's he going to get down pit road?
Well, and also, even if he comes in with a pack of cars, they're going to leave him. If you don't have those 2 gears, you're in big trouble.
Sadler started 22nd.
I think, you know, after a lap or 2 here, I think you'll start seeing these guys break out to 3 wide. I mean, the cars are moving around a lot. Whoa, Stewart cut it close there on Jimmy Johnson. And they do. There's going to, you could just tell those first couple laps, these guys were already anxious.
These guys are pumped up ready for this race because of 2 reasons. And the main reason being they haven't been in race configuration and race conditions since Thursday afternoon when they did all their practice. They just came in Friday and won 1 single lap. And as you know, Wally, you just kind of get out there and run your lap, and that's it. And then some of
Oh, we got trouble. Jeff Green in the 66 and
Casey Kane. And there was a report that somewhere back in the field that someone might have been leaking.
Caution is off, behind.
That almost looked the way they were hooked there, Kyle, that somebody thought somebody was clear and wasn't.
Yeah, it almost looked like, and you can't tell until we see it, but it's almost like somebody jogged left or right when you thought somebody wasn't there.
Let's take a look from upstairs. First caution of the night.
Yep, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Jeff Green thought he was clear. Casey Kane was just up on his right rear quarter panel, and there wasn't enough room. And it's not like you can jump out of the gas really hard or jump on the brakes. You got people right behind it, but you can see Casey Kane was there.
Yeah, Casey was there, but I don't think Jeff had any idea that he was there, because this early in the race, Jeff was driving a conservative line. He just swung out a little bit to get down in the corner, and I don't think either one of them knew it.
And Jeff had such a solid run last week at New Hampshire.
And I'm going to tell you something. Jeff has been taken out of races at Daytona just like this on 2 or 3 different occasions when I was behind him. And not of his fault. This is just a racing incident.
Three right here.
And it was nothing. It was so close. I mean, just...
All right, going to have a wreck here behind us. Wave them off here. Wave them off.
I tell you what, when we see the damage, if we could get a close-up of the damage on the 9 car, you'll be surprised at how little damage it really is on the right front, on that front. It's just barely caved that corner in over on the left side. His biggest damage is on the right side.
Yeah, they could get that left front fixed. That's Larry, I mean, as you know, they've got to get that part of the car fixed because of the aerodynamics.
I mean, there's no question, Raleigh, the most important part of that race car is the front fenders and the rear spoiler. But the one thing I want to point out, we talked in the pre-race about how important the spotters on top of the grandstands. Where those guys were going out of the trioval down to turn one, it's almost the worst situation for the spotter because they're actually driving away from the spotter. All he's looking at is the back of the car. And I know when I've spotted here, what I've told the guys, you're on your own for a second till I can get you down into turn one.
You know, also, Larry, right up against the wall, along the front straightaway, you're in the shadow if you're up right against the wall.
Tough situation for the spotter right there.
And going back to what Kyle was saying, you could draft, you know, if you've got a Ford, you can draft with a Chevy, and he may not be any good, but the next Chevy may be really, really good. Yeah, I don't know why that is, but it just depends on the car.
I don't know why it is. We used to hear people talk all the time. You know, the Chevys, if I get behind them, I just lose my nose. But I'm good behind a Ford. Or if I get in front of a Ford will really push me. And it really depends on the engine combination and the gearing that some of these guys have on whether they can push or pull. Some of these guys set up to run up front with the gear-wise so that they can just get strung out and let somebody push them along. But they got to have somebody to push. Help them push through the air there.
Lindsay, how about the Ford of Matt Kenseth?
Matt Kenseth right now feels a little bit loose, and you guys, he described it earlier as saying that restrictor plates are maddening to him. He says that it's because he just hates being at the mercy of those cars behind him, just like you guys were talking about. And he says, for example, if he has a shot at second or third of the last lap, you pull out, you could end up winning, or you could end up dropping out of the top 10.
Well, you're right. I mean, you're digging every lap. I mean, it drives you crazy because you can run side by side and you're trying to pass a guy, and you're absolutely right, Lindsay. You've got to have help to make a pass, and a lot of it sometimes.
15 races for Matt Kenseth at Daytona. His best is a 5th last July. He's led a total of just 58 laps here. He was 27th in February. Three wide.
Oh, Hamlin.
Teammates, Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart. Stewart, who was going for his 3rd straight win.
Oh, they're still wrecking. There's Junior.
That's what Kyle talked about on the pre-race show. There's one wreck, and then there's the follow-up wreck. And Junior is in it.
Reed Sorensen also in it.
And that's a perfect example of the wreck being at the front of the pack.
And the front end hurt much, though.
And people behind them trying to avoid them running over each other.
Well, as you can see, Stewart had no place to go. He had no time to even react.
Denny Hamlin, last week's winner. Steering wheel off.
There you see the 11 car. Stewart's got a really good run. And it looked like he got in the back of the 11 car, Kyle.
Yeah,
that wasn't an arrow loose. That was a touch.
As a car owner, that is a nightmare come to life.
Nightmare, exactly. And see these guys back here, like I was talking about, everybody's checking up and they got no place to go.
On board with Tony Stewart.
That was definitely contact there. They just, you know, he had a good run. You know, that's when you're making time up on a guy like that. You know, sometimes when you're coming up on him, especially in the corner, you'll get that guy loose. And Hamlin may have had to lift just a little bit because Tony Stewart got him loose to begin with. But still, in the end result, he hit him.
And you don't expect somebody to lift that late up off a corner either. Now, I'm going to give Tony the benefit of the doubt on that one. Once you get out that far, you figure you got 15, 20 feet to catch it if it jumps out from under you. It's not going to go all the way to the top of the racetrack. Look how many cars are on pit road over here to the right. Look how many cars just came down pit road, locked it down, and came down pit road.
You can come down pit road. You must make an attempt to reduce your speed. You can also go below that yellow line, which is out of bounds normally, but you can go below it to avoid the wreck. Matt Kenseth through the grass, Greg Biffle through the grass. Larry?
Guys, let's go back to the Daytona 500 in February. Obviously much later in the race than this, but it was almost reversed. Tony Stewart was leading late in the race, right there in turn 3 and 4, got a little loose. Kurt Busch gets into him. Both of those guys get taken out, and they had the 2 best cars in the Daytona 500. Ralph Shaheen?
The 11 car decided to stop for some reason right in the middle of turn 4, so I'm sure he was getting tight because for 3 laps in a row we were catching through the center and the exit of the corner, and all of a sudden he just stops on the exit of 4 in front of 42 cars, and I guess expects all of us to drive around him. So I don't know. He's tore up 2 really good race cars. He tried to crash us on Friday in practice and didn't get it done, so at least he finished it off today.
Has there been some difficulty between the two of you?
No, I mean, he's a young guy and he wants to be successful, but I don't know if he knows what the definition of team is right now.
Lindsay?
Well, Ralph, I'm standing beside Denny Hamlin. Denny, Tony was just voicing his frustration, saying that you slowed down there basically for no reason. What was your perspective of the incident?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the replay, but I know, you know, I'm looking out the front windshield, and it's just the car was starting to lose its handle there, as was a lot of cars. But you know, myself, I really didn't slow up, you know, any more than I had, you know, lap before. But I think he was just a little bit closer than what he had been in the previous laps, and we got into us. It's not too big of a deal, I don't reckon.
Bill?
Thanks, Lindsay. Caution on the track. Tony Raines.
That was...
Boys, go to the garage here.
But that's just unusual. I mean, really, this is unusual. We don't normally see this.
No, and this racetrack must just be incredibly slick, and these cars are either pushing real bad, and I think Denny said something really...
I don't know who it was, got into the back of you off the 4.
I think Denny said something really that's telltale sign of where the night's going. We'd only run 10 or 15 laps, and he said the car was already losing its handle. 10 or 15 laps into a race, when the car goes away, you're in trouble.
Larry?
Guys, we talked about this during the entire pre-race. And Kyle, you ran the Daytona 500, and even though we know the track has a lot less grip in July, this track did not have a lot of grip, and there were a lot of ill-handling cars in February, and I think you throw the impound race in on top of these guys with only 2 practices on Thursday, I think we're going to have a lot of ill-handling cars throughout this entire 400-mile race.
I got to agree with that. And then throw the heat and the humidity on top of all that. I'm going to tell you, man, we got a lot going on out here right now.
Okay. Keep coming. No, got to spin. He's up high here. Okay.
That
right,
was
44 is with you. Slow down here. There you go.
Brian
Nice
Vickers
shot.
on board.
But that really didn't have anything to do with handling.
No, that had something to do with somebody running into each other in a straight line.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that. That's exactly right. Somebody punted the 96 car. We don't have a good shot of it yet, and hopefully we will. But somebody absolutely punted the 96 car in the short chute, in a straightaway, where you've already made it past the point where Denny and Tony seem to have their problems.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car will be the lucky dog. He was involved in an earlier caution here in the Pepsi 400. 22 laps are complete, or excuse me, 22 laps are complete. Take a local break, and our TNT wide open coverage will continue in 90 seconds. Pit road report from Matt Yoakum.
Fields are closing in on the next round of pit stops. Now the spotters, especially in the 48 pit of Johnson and the 01 of Mark Martin, they will remind their drivers about their pit board signs. Now Mark Martin said in the pace laps, the signs all look illuminated except for the 01, the 45, and the 48 due to the shadows. Johnson, he had to slow down.
And that was, see that coming. As loose as Montoya was, and the 29 was right up next to him, and I think Montoya got loose and got right up into Kevin Harvick, and Harvick slams the wall hard.
Harvick won the Daytona 500 here in February. Clearly slowing on the track. Another look.
Hit the wall a ton.
Yeah, watch the 42 car comes up, and he just slides into Harvick and puts Harvick in the wall.
And you heard Kevin right there before we went to replay. I hit the wall a ton, and I'm going to tell you, that is a ton. You don't realize how hard you hit the wall. You see it correct, and bang, right there. It moves the rear end to the left. It moves, it takes all the camber out of the right front, just stands the right front tire up. There's a lot of damage to that car. He's going to have to come in, or this thing's going to, you've got massive tire rub here besides his other problems.
This is on board with Carl Edwards. See Harvick's car in front of him. He did a nice job hanging on to that, but you can see the subsequent damage. Harvick trying to slow, get below the rest of the traffic and get back to pit road.
I was just going to say, that tire's coming apart right now, and that's not going to be good for anybody.
But the caution comes out.
Caution's out,
Caution's out. Now, if he can get in and get this thing changed to get back out, then it's good for Kevin Harvick, but it's not good for long term. It's not, because it's going to tear this thing all to pieces.
Yeah,
you see the tire coming apart right there.
Before it takes the right front fender off.
That's a lot of damage. A lot of damage.
So the caution is out.
Right side tires, guys. Just put right side tires on it for now.
And this is Harvick after he's hit the wall once.
Yeah, it just won't turn.
And another look in real time. You see him scrape the wall. Caution out. Scott Riggs will be the lucky dog. He will come around and be on the lead lap now.
And, you know, we talk about look at that thing blow out right when he jumps on the gas or on the brakes right there. But you talk about drivers and giving them pep talks. How optimistic is Kevin Harvick? Just give me right side tires, guys. Just give me right side tires. Because that's what you want to believe. You want to believe all I need to do is put these tires on. He'll have to obviously come back in and they'll work on this thing a little bit. But he's got to have some suspension damage in there somewhere along with the body damage that this thing has.
Matt.
Oh, he stalled it.
Go, Dick. Straight out. Outside, clear, all clear.
And that right
dig
there.
Dig hard, you got one outside.
Cost him about 200 yards on the racetrack.
On the racetrack, that's exactly right. You know, what's interesting to watch these guys come down pit road. Well, and you made the comment, the 2 car. My God, he locked it up for 150 yards. And what's interesting to watch these guys, you see him coming into his pits. That's front brake right there. And you heard Clint Boyer early. He slides all the way through his box and has to be pushed back. But what's interesting, when they come off turn 4 and they try to get in the pits, you've got nobody in front of you to judge off of. Right. You're the first car, so you got to make that move. And those guys, we saw the 2 do it. We saw the 17 do it when they pitted by themselves, but the guys behind them didn't lock up. Why didn't they lock up? Because they're judging off that guy in front of them. They're just pacing themselves, and you're able to make better time if you're not the first car sometimes.
Field a little spread out now. Kurt Busch is the race leader, then Johnson, Kyle Busch, and Stremme. Fans, fast food doesn't have to slow you down. Race over to Subway restaurants today. Subway, race hard, eat fresh. Hey, pass the mustard, would you?
McReynolds wasn't acting. That's all I have to say about that.
That's a natural.
Oh, Marlin.
Caution is out.
Wow.
Oh, there's the follow-up wreck.
You blew a damn tire.
And there you have it.
That's what it did.
And that's what it did, so.
And that's what you feel like when you, and I'm going to defend Sterling Marlin until the end of time for that, because that's what you feel like after, because he was having a great run.
Yeah.
He was having a great run today in that 14, and he is great at places like this.
This portion of NASCAR on TNT's Wide Open coverage is brought to you by the Principal Financial Group.
Watch how fast this thing comes around.
Oh!
Just got into Ricky Rudd, too.
So Rudd will have some damage as well.
He knows he's in trouble right here.
Right there.
Elliott Sadler, 8 laps down, is the lucky dog.
You know, if he would have missed Rudd, he may have missed everything.
Yeah.
He had that thing spinning down the left there pretty nicely.
Okay, go to the garage. Go to the garage, guys.
So Sterling tries to limp it back to the garage. You saw the battle for the lead just before that happened. You have to watch him here at the front, too. Kurt, the race leader, his brother Kyle right behind him. Matt.
Bill, a lot of drivers will tell you just get to a certain point in your career and it's almost like flipping a switch. Things just come together, and that's what's happened, what Todd Paris says with David Gilliland. He says they've gotten a lot better in their communication, and he's gotten a lot smarter as a driver. Last year they ran races.
Oh, Charles,
stuff up.
Juan Pablo Montoya, Bobby Labonte in the 43. A lot of guys dodging traffic back there. Caution is out. Inside of 30 to go. John Andretti.
All right, take it easy. Slow down and take care of the tires. You're not that bad. We'll fix the fenders. Keep going here, okay? Don't blow the tires out.
Billy Wilburn, crew chief for John Andretti. John was running in the 27th position last time by. Ooh. Oh! Montoya with the wild ride. Who was at the hit of the wall first?
Well, I think, did Labonte get into somebody?
Yeah, no, it looked like the 0-0.
Got
into the outside wall. Bobby, it looked like
there he
left.
stayed up top. Well, but he was already wrecking there. But yeah, that was just a chain reaction.
And Bobby turns left and checks up, and then Montoya just runs all over him.
David Rudiman.
But Montoya's got no place to go. Let me be clear on that too. It's not that he ran over him.
But he did. Yeah, literally.
What part was it where there's a lot of damage to that 43? You can see that.
in front of you, James. Go high, go high, go high.
That's Earnhardt there, isn't it?
That's Earnhardt
Yeah.
again. That's the 8 car again.
He's having a wonderful night.
Yeah, 26 laps down, having all kinds of fun.
That's why when you're 26 laps down, you don't want to be running in a pack, because you just get gathered in somebody else's stuff, man. I'm going to tell you, if you're leading this thing, if you're the 07 leading this thing, which line do you pull? Do you try to pull the inside line? Do you try to pull the outside line? You know, he's got a little cushion there with the 25 car on older tires. The outside line's got fresh tires, and if he starts pulling those guys will come back to haunt him
Exactly.
later in the race, is what I'm trying to say.
So that's why you want to be down on the inside. Make it harder for the guys that are on really good tires to get there.
Yeah, make them use their tires up a little bit, running that outside group, running a little bit longer line around the racetrack, putting a little bit more heat in those tires. Let them run them off a little bit before they get up there and can race with you.
Jeff Gordon.
Oh, there we go. Gilliland round. Oh, I cannot believe that's a single car accident.
I cannot. That's incredible.
And let's wait for the follow-up. Caution is out.
Hey, good job, man. Okay, keep going, keep going. It's okay, guys.
I think we talked on one of the pre-race shows about being lucky getting through all that stuff.
Tires.
Man, that was lucky.
I'll tell you, that's some luck and some
Coming
right
in right now
driving.
for tires. Man, don't tear the front valence off. Take it easy.
All right, let's go upstairs and take a look.
Now you see him in the center there. Biffle down on the bottom. Biffle going to slide up and get him. No, he just lost it right in the middle.
Oh,
just lost it. Oh, look how
man.
close he came taking Biffle out.
Almost got Edwards, too.
I'm going to tell you, right into the door of Blaney here. You see this thing get out from under him, and he turns right up into Blaney. Boom. Caves Blaney's door in. And Blaney's car never even looked like it moved from the helicopter. It looked like it just drove straight.
John Andretti in the 45 car, the lucky dog. Again, you're watching right here. Man. I don't know how you react that fast. I really don't.
There is no reaction. I don't think there is. When something happens that fast and it's in front of you, there really is no. You don't have time to stab the brake or stay. You're already in the gas wide open. Remember that. These guys are already flat-footed. They can't go any faster to try to avoid this. If they slow down, they know they're going to get run over. So you just kind of pick a line and you go with it. And that's where the spotters are so critical to help these guys.
This is On Board with Mark Martin, Principal Financial Ride.
They're wrecking right in front of us, man. Keep digging, keep digging.
You see how he got through the wreck before the spotter even said anything on that deal. So sometimes it happens so fast. Like he did a good job. He kept the car straight, but
good job.
What are you going to do?
Slow it down. Caution down.
Like Kyle said, you don't want to jump out of the gas. You don't want to get on the brake because you got guys running all over you. So you just got to kind of roll out of the throttle and hope that the wreck is gone by the time you get there.
Trust me, they tell me it's coming.
All right, there you see it. Now, Boyer's looking in the mirror right now. He's going to try to block the 25 car, but he can only do so much because also the 48's coming. That was just a perfect
And that's just a
restart pass.
And that's a perfect restart pass, and that's a power move right there. Those guys did it coming up through the gears. That's just a power move.
Remember, Mark Martin had his mirror full on the last lap of the Daytona 500.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson.
Oh,
We got a guy on the wall. Here we go.
Nemechek
and Vickers get turned. Nemechek down on the bottom.
Caution's
I thought
out.
those guys were going to save it.
I thought they both had it saved there for a minute.
There's Brian rolling again. Oh boy, another restart.
Yes.
Let's go back and take a look.
Well, I think these guys just all had I thought they were going to have a whole big run there, but I think Nemechek he just lost downforce on that car and slid up into Vickers.
Yeah. And they made contact the first time and got away with it. It was the second time overcorrecting that they got up into each other. And all that happens within about the length of a football field.
Right.
I mean, you're left, you're right, you're left, and then you're into somebody, and then it's over with. You're just hanging on, trying not to do any more damage than you can.
It's our 8th caution of the race.
Oh, just clipped him. So who was in front when it came out?
We're told by scoring from NASCAR, car 24. This is on board with Vickers.
No help right now. Still 3. Keep coming, bud. Keep coming.
And you've had that happen. I've had it happen. You got it saved. You're like, yeah, man, I got it saved. Oh!
That's what I was going to say. That's a long time between scraping the wall and having it still go straight and then getting hit again. It's like, oh, my goodness. I didn't see the 24 get around the 25, even though that's what they have scored.
Hanging out pretty good. You might have to do something to keep that secure.
Now let's go back. Watch the wreck and the lead. That's Gordon in the 24. On the high side of Mears.
Yeah, 24 was past him for most of the way. You know, there was a loop there somewhere.
Yeah, there is a scoring loop over there which picks up where the cars are. And that's when the caution comes out. They're right.
Yeah, there are 18 scoring loops around this 2.5-mile track. NASCAR reverts to the previously passed scoring loop for scoring. Saw Jeff Gordon with Richard Petty before the race. Richard, 10 wins here. Gordon with 6. He's the race leader. They come to the line. They get the green flag. 7 to go.
And you'll see Gordon hung back there. He did not want to get any gap in between him and the 25 car so they could make a run on him.
No, he wanted to keep the pack compressed.
Closed up.
He wanted it where Boyer took off a little early, and those guys behind him got a good run on him and went around him on the outside.
I think if McMurray's going to have any shot, he's going to have to jump up there on the high side, and hopefully somebody's going to come with him, but Johnson won't. But maybe the 07 of Boyer could get there.
And they've already worked over Boyer going in turn 1, and 2 or 3 of them have got by him like instantly, and that totally catches me off guard because Boyer had been protecting that inside when he was up front. He protected it like it was gold.
Chevy, Chevy, Ford, Chevy.
You know, McMurray's just going, oh, man. Looking out the windshield, looking in the mirror.
Where's Carl?
It's all Hendrick cars. Carl is in 6th.
6 to go.
And if he jumped out, whoa, and here comes a 5 car flying up on the high side. Taking anybody that will go with him.
Right now, that would be Biffle if he can get there.
But remember the 500, it was one from the outside, man.
But yeah, the 26 has got to jump out in front of that 5 car right now if he can. And doesn't. And now he's going to get a push.
Ralph,
oh, contact.
Boy, there was contact in there, and everybody's cheering down here in the 26 pit, but he's on the outside, which is where he really needs to be right now. On the bottom, his car is very loose. He's just hoping he can get somebody to shove him around the outside.
There's going to be a shove here in a second. Mears the loser.
Oh, I mean, Kyle Busch, she turned left, man.
Yeah, right down across the hood of the 48, and he's going to be leading this thing in a minute.
Kyle Busch in the 5 car, trying to win 2 NASCAR races on the same track in the same day.
How cool would that be? I don't care. That would just be phenomenal.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. 2 to these guys back here.
Now, which way is the 48 his teammate going to go?
I was just thinking the same thing.
He's got 2 Hendrick teammates behind him, the 48 of Johnson and the 24 of Gordon. Gordon's in the high line. Behind McMurray.
Oh, man! That 5 car loose.
And he's still in the gas.
He doesn't know any other way.
He has driven that car that way all night long. He's done it down here with the Busch car in February. And every time he comes to this place, he drives the car looser here than anybody I've seen.
Now, here's where it's going to get hairy. I mean, 48 is on that 5 car, and he's on his bumper really close to the corner. it'll turn that 5 car. And I think that's probably why the 48 is backing off when they get to the corner.
He's trying, the 48, by backing off a little bit like that, is trying to help the 5 car get into the corner more than anything else. He could run up there, and if the car was a little bit better, all but bump draft.
Oh, nice move by Carl Edwards.
And Kurt Busch going to try and come along.
Oh, Busch gets a little bit loose.
He's got his teammate behind him in the 12, Ryan Newman.
Kyle Busch didn't want to see that, I'm going to tell you that. He don't want to look up and see Carl.
I don't know if the 5 has really looked in his mirror in the last 100 laps.
I'm not sure he has a mirror. I don't think he has.
I mean, I don't really think he cares who's behind him.
Gordon pushing McMurray to the lead while his teammate in the inside lane loses the lead.
But he has to. That's the lane he's in. You know, those guys committed to the high line for right now, and they've got to push who's ever in the high line, whether it's your teammate or not. It makes no difference.
Jamie McMurray in that 26 car won in his second career start. Has not won in the last 166 races. Look at him go.
Now this is dangerous though for a leader. When they get out front, then that pack will charge up and they'll have a really good run on him, and that's where Jamie's got to make sure that he doesn't get too far ahead of this pack.
Jamie needed that on the last lap, not 3 laps ago. But if these guys can, if they stay pitched off and they can keep them run down here on the line like that.
They're getting a run right there. Boy, Carl Edwards in that 99 car had a run on the 5 car.
Less than 2 to go.
Kyle Busch is still hammering that thing right down on the bottom, sideways. That's incredible. He is doing a great job.
See, I think if Carl will get a really good run here and he could give the 5 a push, it would take the 99 to second.
McMurray in that 26 car led early in the race, was black flagged for passing below the yellow line. Had to do a pass-through penalty, caught a break on a caution, has worked his way to the lead. Side by side with Kyle Busch as they come to the white flag.
Look at that. That 5 car is strong, man.
Not only is he strong, I'm telling you, he is trying to build up that thing too. He's going to be in the gas all the way. I don't care how sideways this thing gets.
Last lap.
And he needs to be, because if they wreck right now, he's got to be the first guy across that loop.
Kyle Busch now has his brother Kurt behind him.
The one thing is Kyle Busch has the inside, and because of where the start-finish line here is, at this place, the inside line is the line if you can maintain it coming out of turn 4.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what.
Will Edwards help his teammate, or will he make a move for the win?
I don't know if he'll be able to make the move for the win.
Kyle Busch is the guy right here. He's your winner.
He's going to have the momentum, and he's going to get to the line.
Coming to the checkers.
Oh, wow. That was close. I don't know.
Waiting for scoring.
I think the 26 got him.
It says 26 on the monitor.
Wow.
Great. My God. What an incredible finish.
It does not get any. I don't know who. Like I said,
that was incredible. I would have bet all the money in the world Kyle Busch had that thing when he came out of turn 4.
NASCAR's going to look at the video.
The 26 surged right there, right at the line.
It's like the Truck Series races that we've seen here in the past. Where you
Jamie McMurray has won the Pepsi 400.
Man, that was great.
That's incredible.
Watch the 26 just get a surge right before the line.
It's his teammate right behind him, Carl Edwards.
Right there, the 5 had the advantage. And he had the momentum.
And here they are, and you see.
Now watch, right here.
Right there. You see it start to move again.
Remember the finish in the 500? How about that?
That's good stuff.
That's incredible.
Jamie McMurray replaced Sterling Marlin after Sterling was injured in a crash. He won his second career start, but has not had much success. He changed teams. He went to Roush. He's gone 166 races without a win until this moment, just seconds ago.
And hats off to 5 car. He drove the wheels off that race car tonight for a second-place finish.
Last race at Daytona for this car, and this race will be remembered for how well the cars did and the drivers.